Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that I'm very passionate about. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have knowledge on what Christmas is. However, not a lot of people have knowledge on the Muslim religious holiday of Eid. And a lot of times when you ask Muslims what Eid is, they're going to say, well, it's like our Christmas, which it is, and you'll kind of see why we say that as we go on. So there are actually two Eids, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, and both of these Eids have really rich cultural importance that not a lot of people really care to learn about. And not only have I done extensive research on this topic, I have also grown up Muslim American, so I've not only celebrated these holidays growing up, but also learned about them. And going to school, I realized that they don't really talk about it at all. And so I think it's really important that people get some sort of basic knowledge of what these holidays are. So first I'm going to talk about what Eid is and why we celebrate it twice. And then I'm going to talk about what it really symbolizes for the Islamic community and what we learn on these days. And lastly, I'm going to discuss why it's important for people outside the Islamic community to understand what Eid is. So Eid is a very sacred holiday in Islam, hence why I celebrate it twice. And they both mark the end of a significant event of Islamic culture. So according to the editors of Britannica and their article, Eid al-Fitr, this Eid celebrates the end of Ramadan. So for some context, Ramadan is a 1-month period of the year in which Muslims fast. And Eid al-Fitr comes at the very end, the very last day, as a celebration to end the breaking of fast. And usually it's not a 1-day celebration. Traditionally it's a 3-day celebration in which you celebrate the end of fast, and you also can thank Allah for helping us through what sometimes can be a really rough 30-day period. And it helps, just like any other religious holiday, it allows Muslims to feel closer to their religion and closer to Allah. And Eid al-Adha comes right at the end of Hajj. And Hajj is an Islamic pilgrimage to the Islamic holy city of Mecca. So not every Muslim obviously is able to have the time or have the money to travel out to Saudi Arabia, Mecca, and do this pilgrimage. However, whether we go or not, it's still celebrated. And not only is it the celebration of this pilgrimage, but it also is, according to the Muslim AIDS article of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, the purpose of these festivities of this holiday is to celebrate and remember the devotion and submission of our Prophet Ibrahim to Allah. So again, just like any other religious holiday, it helps us feel closer to our religion and closer to Allah. So besides just the basics of what these holidays are, they both symbolize something much bigger, much greater in the Islamic community. According to the Muslims Aid article, again, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, both these days are linked. Although they're separate days, they're linked in the importance and the representation of charity. Eid al-Fitr is a time in which Muslims choose to give their zakat. So zakat is an obligation of a sort for Muslims to give a portion of their annual wealth to a charitable cause. Now obviously this is not mandatory for every Muslim to do. However, if you're able to, it's really something that Muslims pride themselves on. And that's what this holiday really symbolizes, is that not to be greedy and to be grateful for what you have. A lot of times, personally, me and my family during this time, we think about how how blessed we are that we're able to open the fridge and have food in there. Although during the time of Ramadan, when we are fasting, we're simply doing this for religious purposes and not because we have no food. And a lot of times that's taken for granted that we have stuff in the fridge to eat every day and we have a roof over our head. And not a lot of people are able to really look back, take a step, and think about how blessed we are to have things like that. And not everybody is able to have things like that. So that's what really Eid al-Fitr really represents as a whole. According to the editors of Britannica in their article Eid al-Adha, this Eid is known as the festival of sacrifice. Of course, Eid al-Fitr is also sacrificing food, but Eid al-Adha, in a sense, takes it more literal. This holiday is in which we sacrifice an animal, and we use that meat and we divvy it up equally for family, friends, and poor. When we're able to do this, it really, again, makes us feel great, because like when me and my family are able to do this, we go to homeless shelters and we're able to give the meat that we've bought in to the homeless shelters, and we're able to give that food to be cooked to people in need. And it's a time, although they are our religious holidays, it's a time when we're able to give back to others who need it. And all in all, both of these Eids are really about opening ourselves up and thinking about others before ourselves, thinking about what we have and what we're able to give. Now I talked about what Eid represents and what it symbolizes, and now I want to talk about why it's important for everybody, even outside the Islam community, to understand what Eid is. So many people get a false idea of what the Islamic culture is by media, which is why it's important to understand these Eids, because you're able to see just how false what the media says is. Now, media, news outlets, they like to spread a lot of fake news saying that Muslims are dangerous, that our religion spreads violence and hate. However, just by the little bit that I've told you about these two Eids, it's so clear to see that that is the complete opposite of what the Muslim culture teaches. And Eid is the time of year when we're able to open our hearts and show how compassionate our culture is. So it debunks everything that the news really says about us. Now, in Fosterline article that says, the article is called What Eid Means to Muslims. It explains how Eid is a chance to multiply good deeds by bringing happiness and pleasure into the hearts of others. So not only are we trying to make our Muslim brothers and sisters feel happy and celebrated and everything else, we like to bring other people of all cultures, all races, all ethnicities, everything, to make them feel great, to have them have full hearts. Even though it's our religious holiday, we want everybody to feel just as great as we do on these days. So I discussed what these Eids are, and I discussed what they symbolize, and I discussed why everybody should have a basic knowledge of these holidays. And again, not many people do have a knowledge of what the Islamic culture and the beauty of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. But just by making yourself open to learning new cultures and new religions, even not just Islam, but every religion, you could really be the change the world needs. Thank you.